In this episode of the Huberman Lab podcast, Andrew Huberman discusses the concept of working memory and its importance in everyday life. He explains that working memory is the ability to hold small amounts of information in the mind for short periods of time and is closely related to attention. Understanding working memory and its improvement can lead to better focus and attention. Huberman compares working memory to long-term and short-term memory. Long-term memory involves the storage of declarative and procedural memories, while short-term memory acts as a temporary storage bank for information. The formation of short and long-term memories involves neuroplasticity, which includes processes like long-term potentiation, LTP, long-term depression, LTD, and neurogenesis. Huberman explains that neuroplasticity, the nervous system's ability to change in response to experience, is involved in the formation of short and long-term memories. He discusses the different types of neuroplasticity, including LTP, LTD, and neurogenesis. While neurogenesis, the formation of new neurons, is an exciting concept, it is not the main mechanism for the formation of short and long-term memories. Huberman conducts a working memory test by reading off a series of letters and asking the listeners to remember them. He emphasizes that working memory involves the ability to hold on to specific information for a short period and then discard it. He highlights the importance of working memory in everyday activities and its close association with attention. Huberman delves into the neural circuitry underlying working memory, focusing on the prefrontal cortex and the dopamine projections from the brainstem to the prefrontal cortex. He explains that dopamine levels strongly dictate working memory capacity, with lower dopamine levels leading to lower working memory performance. However, he emphasizes that simply increasing dopamine levels does not always lead to improved working memory, and that specific criteria must be met to predict its impact on working memory performance. Huberman discusses a study by Brazawi, Brown, Rosvold, and Goldman, which found that introducing small amounts of dopamine directly into the cortex increased working memory capacity. He explains that the relationship between dopamine and working memory follows an inverted U-shaped function, meaning that increasing dopamine levels can improve working memory up to a certain point, beyond which it can actually decrease working memory performance. Huberman then explores different protocols for improving working memory by modulating dopamine levels. He discusses the use of non-sleep deep rest, NSDR, or yoga nidra, a practice that involves lying down and listening to a script that guides individuals through relaxation techniques. He cites a study that found that performing a yoga nidra protocol increased baseline levels of dopamine in the brain by as much as 60%. Additionally, he mentions that NSDR has been shown to improve cognitive performance tasks that involve working memory elements. Huberman also delves into the relationship between dopamine and attention, explaining that dopamine plays a role in both task switching and eliminating distractions. He discusses the neural circuits involved in these processes, highlighting the importance of dopamine projections to the basal ganglia for task switching and to the prefrontal cortex for eliminating distractions. Huberman discusses several zero-cost behavioral tools that can improve dopamine levels and, consequently, working memory. He mentions progressive muscle relaxation, SDR, and yoga nidra as effective tools to increase dopamine availability in the brain. These techniques involve lying down in a safe place and engaging in relaxation exercises. Huberman encourages listeners to try these techniques for 20 to 30 minutes to explore their potential benefits. Another zero-cost behavioral tool that Huberman recommends for improving dopamine levels is deliberate cold exposure. He explains that getting into cold water, such as a cold shower or cold plunge, can significantly increase circulating catecholamines, including dopamine. He advises individuals to experiment with different temperatures and durations to find a safe and effective protocol for deliberate cold exposure. Huberman also highlights the potential benefits of deliberate cold exposure for increasing focus and attention. Huberman briefly discusses the use of binaural beats as a tool to improve working memory. Binaural beats involve listening to sounds of different frequencies in each ear, which can lead to changes in neural activity patterns within the brain. While the specific relationship between binaural beats and dopamine levels is not fully understood, studies have shown that binaural beats can improve cognitive functioning and working memory performance. In addition to behavioral tools, Huberman explores the use of supplement-based tools to increase dopamine levels and improve working memory. He discusses the potential benefits of L-tyrosine, an amino acid precursor to dopamine, and munapurines, a compound derived from the velvet bean that increases dopamine levels. Huberman emphasizes the importance of starting with minimal effective doses and consulting a healthcare provider before incorporating these supplements into a regimen. Huberman acknowledges the role of prescription drugs and other compounds in improving working memory, particularly for individuals with subclinical levels of ADHD or other cognitive challenges. He discusses the use of dopamine agonists, such as bromocriptine and other prescription drugs commonly prescribed for ADHD. While emphasizing the potential benefits of these compounds, Huberman also highlights the importance of consulting a healthcare provider before using prescription drugs to improve working memory.